Policing the streets has changed a lot since the days of Dixon of Dock Green.
Good evening, all.
But some things remain the same, and local police officers listening to people's concerns is still a priority for neighbourhood teams across the country.
Good afternoon, everybody.
And in modern-day Britain, we need them now more than ever. In this series of Neighbourhood Blues, we follow Northumbria Police.
Can you move to the top of the street, please?
One of the largest police forces in the country, serving a diverse population of 1.5 million people.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Whether it's tackling troublemakers,
Don't point at me.
cracking down on antisocial behaviour crippling our communities,
Keep on walking now.
or waging war on illegal drugs.
This is a big one.
They keep our streets safe by fighting the crimes that affect us most and bringing criminals to justice at every opportunity. On today's Neighbourhood Blues, antisocial neighbours get a dressing down from frustrated cops.
We've been gone literally 45 minutes, yet we get another phone call to say to come back here.
The Sunderland team goes to war with street beggars.
It is illegal to beg in Sunderland city centre now.
And there's concern for a man with mental health issues in a rural village.
I think the problem is he's camped right next to somebody's house as well, which isn't the best.
Years ago, the city of Sunderland's docks and nearby coal mines provided jobs and homes to generations. But years of industrial decline means many are now leaving the city, and it now has one of the fastest shrinking populations in Britain.
But Sunderland is fighting back. Investment is being poured into the area. Playing a big part in the city's fight to get back on its feet is the Neighbourhood team.
To the north of the city, near their football team's Stadium of Light, the Southwick Neighbourhood team work hard to fight the effects of high unemployment. The team is constantly dealing with drug and alcohol problems, but antisocial behaviour is their most common issue. Today, PCs Sarah McLaren and Graham Cook, aka Cookie, have been called to a house whose residents cause misery for everyone on the street.
It's all in relation to antisocial behaviour that's stemming from the address. Mainly, I think, in relation to drink, alcohol, people being drunk.
The house is split into two flats, one upstairs, one downstairs. It's a case of neighbours at war, but neither is on the right side.
Because they live in such close proximity to each other, they share a backyard. Whenever they're drunk, it appears to erupt and they end up ringing the police.
Today there have been reports of an assault at a party that's got out of hand. Unbelievably, it's not the first time they've been to the address today. They were there less than an hour ago.
Earlier there was a party barbecue in the yard. There'd been a previous call there where one of the occupants was saying they'd fallen out with the neighbour that lives upstairs. When we've gone round, they've denied any of that, stated they were best of mates.
They're not the only emergency services who've been called to this nuisance address. The partygoers' idea of fun included setting fire to an old wardrobe.
It's a bit of a nightmare neighbour scenario.
Oh, yes.
One set of occupants throwing glass bottles
there you
at the
go.
other.
Right.
The remains of the wardrobe have been cleared up and there's no sign of the revellers. But with an alleged assault, the team needs to speak to the couple downstairs who reported it. Graham spots one of them at the kitchen window.
Round the front.
The team is fed up with the misery and disruption being caused by these warring neighbours.
Open the door.
And is far from happy about being called out for the second time in one day.
What's going on?
They've smashed the yard up, they've been.
What did I tell you when I was here? What did I say to you?
To 4999.
No. What did I say to you beforehand?
You didn't. You said there was no issue, you were mates with them, everything was sweet.
I have been mates with them.
And then what goes off?
Right,
as
so
soon
what's
as I
happened?
as soon as I come away.
His friends have been youngins, only 12-year-old drinking.
The man claims his neighbours upstairs were throwing a party when one of the guests assaulted his girlfriend. Whilst the accusation has to be taken seriously, Sarah knows a firm approach is what's needed to get to the truth.
Listen, can you see from our point of view? Listen to me. Listen to me. We get a phone call from you saying you've had hassle with them. We come round. Listen to what I'm saying. You say you've had hassle with them. We come round to speak to you, right? And you tell us everything's fine. There is no hassle, so we leave. We've been gone literally 45 minutes, yet we get another phone call to say to come back here. Now, you're either friends with them or you're not. It's as simple as that.
I'm not.
Right.
Someone's kicked me in the face.
Did you see who kicked her?
And she got attacked. That's what she said.
The woman drunkenly claims she was assaulted. Her partner, who's also drunk, says the partygoers were throwing glass bottles at him in the yard.
So who's threw it at you?
The youngins. I've already been on the phone 6 times. I've had this flung
Twice. So who threw it?
This young kid with glasses. He's up there. They're all partying. They've all keeping quiet. That's where they've all.
It's a shared space, separated by a metal barrier. The man says the partygoers, who are now laying low upstairs, were jumping over the barrier and causing chaos.
Is that your plant pot?
No, it's theirs.
It's theirs.
Just to keep this
The shambolic account has left Sarah unsure if the man's partner has been assaulted.
Listen.
Drinking the
And
something.
frustratingly, a different story is starting to emerge.
So who have you seen anybody assault anybody?
No, but I've been assaulted.
By who?
The one with the glasses.
What's he wearing?
Blue t-shirt. He's got glasses.
We'll have to clear whoever's upstairs out.
When we heard on the phone, he'd done a runner upstairs. They're all up there quiet.
Because we've already been here once and stuff's not making sense, right? And at the minute you're drunk. So how can you say that to me?
Tell him moving me aunties have had enough.
Right.
Whilst the accusation of assault is unravelling, the neighbourhood team needs to investigate it thoroughly by speaking to the occupants upstairs and their guests.
I've had enough of these two houses, like. They're in because I've seen them at the back window. They're definitely in.
Hello. You know me, you know Sarah. Hello. You out.
Come here. Now.
I don't know, what have you done?
The team finds all the partygoers in the upstairs flat, including a young lad who matches the description the couple gave.
Stand down there and without shouting and swearing, tell calmly what's gone on. What's gone on?
I haven't got a clue. I went to the shop, came back, I went on the back and just started slinging glass bottles, well, now them bottles that I was drinking, started slinging them out the window and that, and trying to say that I've punched her in the face when it was her that punched me in the face.
Right, that's your account, yes? You wait there to make sure that they...
With the lad giving another version of events, the team are unsure as to who is telling the truth. One thing's for sure, these residents are a constant source of antisocial behaviour, and for the sake of the neighbourhood, back upstairs, Sarah lays down the law.
Right, what I'm not putting up with is anymore, I'll be honest with you, anymore this between these two addresses, right? I've had enough of it. What irritates me, if I'm honest, right, is you're all sat out there, friendly 1 minute, we come, nee bother, we're all best of mates. We drive off, and half an hour later, we're back again.
For now, Sarah and the team come up with a short-term solution.
I think what we're going to do is, because the people from the downstairs flat are the drunkest out of all of them, is to try and get them to go somewhere else for the night to sober up and calm down. Everybody that's in the flat upstairs is going to get kicked out once we've sorted these people somewhere to go, which will hopefully quell any problems for the rest of the night, because I know if we leave these here, it's just going to all erupt again the minute we drive off. And then Obviously, they're making accusations of being assaulted, so they'll have to be spoken to when they're sober.
You can't stay in here tonight. There's got to be a mate or somebody you can go to, so we don't get come back here.
Separating the two warring couples and sending the partygoers home is best for now. But it's not the long-term solution they need.
Is your dad going into yours?
I didn't want to blame me. Want to blame me.
And this happens, eh?
I know. Horrible.
And this happens.
You don't cause any other drama outside you as well, right? Right.
To put this antisocial behaviour to an end, they'll need to come up with a plan that everyone can agree to. But they know it's not going to be easy.
Right.
Sunderland's fight with antisocial behaviour
No, you're not. Stand there a second.
is a battle being fought on many fronts. Its historic city centre plays a massive part in the area's regeneration. But like many high streets in Britain, drug and alcohol abuse is an issue. The Neighbourhood team is on the front line in the clean-up of the city centre. New powers to help tackle begging, bin raking and problem drinking hope to help them succeed.
It's a public spaces protection order which is being done in conjunction with the police and the council.
The Neighbourhood team knows it will take more than a piece of legislation to rid the city centre of antisocial behaviour.
What's your language?
But another power, combined with their years of experience, is all par for the course.
Begging. This has been obviously a rising issue in the town centre.
No problem.
This is in place for the persistent offenders who will get £80 and then go into the betting shop, basically.
There's no way he's going to fit in there.
We're not going through the court and it's a ticket that we can give instantly on the spot.
You might not see the end of the street if you don't hurry up.
The best practice will be to give a formal warning in the first instance.
Neighbourhood officers Steve Stringer and Jill Calvert have been policing the city centre for over a decade.
He's tying it up to you. Is it called stick?
They know the difference between begging and being homeless. And today, they've received reports of a man who's breaking the rules.
You're sitting begging, man.
The man's been spotted begging on CCTV, so he's banged to rights.
It is illegal to beg in Sunderland city centre now. All right, it's always been illegal. But now the council issue £75 tickets, all right, for begging. No, we're going to be giving you a little warning letter, all right?
Steve is keen to get a good look at the man in case he disobeys the order and returns to the city centre.
Right, what it is, PSPO, Public Space Protection Order, right?
That's obviously.
Because you've been seen begging on the camera, and you've been sitting there with a rug over you, it's obvious what you're doing, you are begging, right? You are. Right. So you're going to get a warning, right, in the first instance. You can't get a £75 fine, but I'm going to give you a warning today in the first instance because the first time I've seen you doing it, right? You can sign it if you want. If you don't, you can refuse. It's up to you. I'm not bothered. Just sign it. Right. You get a copy for you. You can put that on the wall or show Claire when you next see her. But next time you get stopped for begging, putting your thing out of litter, next time you get stopped, you get a £75 fine. Do you understand?
Take
Actually,
care
yeah,
of
that's
yourself.
one. Let's just give the gentleman a public space protection order warning ticket for begging in Sunderland City Centre. We found him, the Bridges control room said they've seen him begging, taking money off people. We've come, he's got a rug over his legs, he's obviously in a position to beg. So we've given him a warning in the first instance because I know he's never been done for begging before. So next time he gets caught, he gets a £75 fine.
Begging is just one form of antisocial behaviour being tackled by the new powers. There's another, which is more common, which the team deal with time and time again: problem drinking. And over the radio, Jill receives an urgent call to a bus stop at a nearby bar. It's match day, and Jill knows that means the alcohol has been flowing.
8719 LB, I'm right outside Joseph's bar at the moment. There's nothing apparent. Yeah, received, I am single crewed. Right, gentlemen, what's going on?
Jill is approached by a man whose dad appears to have injured his hand. Before she gets to the bottom of what's happened, it's her priority to make sure the injured dad is okay. With no sign of an ambulance, she goes for the first aid kit.
Let's hoping there's something in the first aid kit to start with. We don't normally have much. There we go.
With a cut to the hand, she's unsure if he's a threat, and with alcohol involved, Jill has to be on guard.
Hey, back off. I'm trying to help your dad here.
Yeah.
All right? You sort that one out, sweetie. All right? You pop those on your top there. Yeah. Right. You do that, because I can't see with all that red stuff. So sit yourself on there and tell us what happened. All right?
I tell you what it is. People are a bit cheeky.
Uh-huh.
I mean, nothing's happened, to tell you the truth.
So have you ended up with a cut on your hand?
Because somebody pushed us over.
Right, OK. And so you're saying you've fallen on the glass, is it? Or did you have a glass in your hand when you fell?
No. I went over, the table went over.
Ah, right, OK. Sweetie, I'm going to ask a favour. Will you just stay here for me? And I need to pop in.
The man seems unwilling to give a clear account, but from what she can gather, he's either fallen or was pushed over a table inside the bar. Jill needs to find a sober person who saw what happened. Thankfully, more of the Neighbourhood team have arrived, and Jill has found a member of bar staff.
What time were we on? 3, 4?
Yeah, but it was literally, there was just a kick-off, and obviously all I heard was glasses smashed, tables go over. And...
Right, OK.
But she only saw the aftermath. With no clear account of what's happened, Jill's attention turns back to the man's injury.
He's got a bit of glass in his arm.
Oh,
he's got
great.
loads of little nicks all over. Nothing major, though.
This is what you get when you go rolling in glass, isn't it?
I'll never get.
We'll jump about a few points to take the pain away.
Right. So it's going to be a hospital trip. Yeah.
She has a final attempt to find out who caused the man's injuries.
So you got pushed over, or you fell over?
Yeah, I got pushed over. But he apologised, mate.
All right. So what did he look like?
He claims to know who injured him, but doesn't want to say who.
So you're saying you don't want to make a complaint?
Nah, I don't know.
Right, OK. Right.
Jill knows that when alcohol's involved, there's always the chance of recrimination. So she tries to solve two problems at once.
If you want, I can take you up and drop you off.
Drop us off.
Right. Okay.
No, drop off. I'll keep it.
All right. If you jump in the back there. All right.
By taking him to hospital, there's less chance of another incident.
You behave yourself. Get your head. And don't pop it out. All right. Right. Sunderland Hospital. Here we come. I would rather get away from here before it goes wrong again. We're going to take up to the hospital now. He looks like he's got little bits of glass in his arm. There's a few cuts on his arm. Our medic, Chris, in the back there, says. So if we take him to the hospital, drop him off, the hospital A&E can do triage and get the glass out. And that'll be it. All sorted. Everybody happy. I'm trying to help you, Dad, here.
The man later confirmed he didn't want to press charges. Jill dropped him off at A&E and no further action was taken.
You do that, because I can't see with all that red stuff.
Back on the north side of the city, the Southwick team has been dealing with warring neighbours whose antisocial behaviour is causing misery for everyone else on their street.
It's just going to all erupt again the minute we drive off.
The house, split into two flats, one upstairs, one downstairs, have made several calls to police, with each property making accusation and counter-accusation against the other.
We've been gone literally 45 minutes, yet we get another phone call to say to come back here. Now, you're either friends with them or you're not.
When a party got out of control, things came to a head.
And just started slinging glass bottles.
I've had enough of these two houses, like.
But now they've come up with a plan, which will involve negotiation and cooperation. For these warring neighbours, it's a tall order.
We're off to hopefully issue a CPN to the occupants downstairs.
A CPN is a community protection notice. They are issued by police teams to prevent nightmare neighbours causing antisocial behaviour. Both flats are privately rented, so failure to comply could lead to eviction. Despite the headache both flats have given the team, they don't want it to come to that.
The upstairs neighbours have had one served on them and we couldn't get an answer downstairs the last time we came, so we're going to try again. Hopefully they'll be in.
For the order to work, all the neighbours need to be issued with a notice, which means the team have to keep returning to the property until everybody has been spoken to. Today it's the turn of the young couple in the downstairs flat.
It's Cooky. Don't open the door. It's 2 minutes.
Oh, it's open. Must be in then. Open the door, please. I know, well, you come and answer it.
Right, can I come in then? Where are I? Champion.
The reason we're here, remember the other night when we came, when there was a bit of to do in the yard and the wardrobe was on fire and stuff? If you've spoke upstairs, has he told you what we went and spoke to him about?
About any more and there's be evictions and all that?
But
basically.
How aptly put in a nutshell. What it is, right, have a seat and we'll explain it to you, right? The reason we've come to this is obviously since that night, there's been further incidents reported, hasn't there, in relation to complaining about each other. What we're going to serve today is what they call a community protection notice warning, right?
This is just a warning, but spells out that breaching the conditions of the notice is a criminal offence.
The idea of it is it outlines what we think the problems and behaviour are. This warning, right, you've all got the same conditions, all right? So for you at the minute, right, because that's where the main crux seem to be, and it seems to be when people have had a drink. You seem to be sweet when you haven't had a drink, and then I think, like drink does, it turns things a little bit sour, doesn't it? And it can create issues. So this is basically a warning. Any breach of this wouldn't be arrestable, all right? But it would allow me and Cooky to come back and serve you with a notice, and it can have some effect on your landlord.
We're first, because that's what
the actions you must take, right, is not to act in an antisocial manner or create excessive noise which may cause annoyance to neighbours and other local residents, yeah? And that is with immediate effect, so from now, once this notice is served, okay? Right, what I'll do is I'll get Cooky just to sign this, and then I'll ask you to just sign the 3 copies and we'll leave a copy with you, all right?
Oh, yes, squiggle on there, top line, 3 copies. So when you've done that, spin that and spin the other. Well, consider this now, you've now been given your warning, right? We will help you, but you've got to help yourself, and that'll help us. Any drama tonight, if I get any calls from any other residents, I'll clear it. If I have to, we'll put a closure notice on the kip, on both kips if I have to.
There'll be none of that.
But you promised it the last time. No. You're gonna, yeah.
As he leaves, Cooky warns the man that any antisocial behaviour at either flat will get them all in trouble.
Right. Well, we've already
spoken. I knew there was going to be hell on, but there's not like that tonight. It's all we're doing is building a shed and that's it.
Lock that, all right.
3 community protection orders have now been served, which leaves the neighbourhood team just needing to track down the man's partner.
It's 3 out of 4 done now. We've just got to catch her.
And as they get back in the van, there's good news. She's waiting for them back at the station.
Front office staff saying just quite obnoxious, so I'm just going to pull the wagon up and then we'll have a wander in and see what she's like.
Back at the station, Cooky and Sarah present the woman with the notice.
Right, all we're after is this needs to be read out to you, right, with instructions about what it's all about. You are the last of the 4 to get this sorted, right?
I'm hoping when I
she agrees to sign, which means all 4 neighbours have agreed to stop their antisocial behaviour.
Grit your teeth. That's the 4 of them done, and hopefully it'll stop it. If it doesn't, we'll just then have to look at it again and go up each step of the ladder, really.
Right, take care now, bye-bye.
Since issuing the community protection order, the team received no further calls from the property or their neighbours. A scheme in Southwick has seen 27 community protection notices served to individuals, and Cooky and Sarah's fight against antisocial behaviour continues.
You've now been given your warning, right?
Up to 40% of police time is now spent dealing with incidents caused by some kind of mental health issue. Thankfully, the Neighbourhood team are skilled at walking the fine line between helping someone in need and protecting the public from danger.
Northumbria Police is one of the largest forces in the country, covering over 2,000 square miles and serving over 1.5 million people. With such a massive rise in cases related to mental health issues, even the force's rural areas are feeling the effects. In Hexham, a market town 20 miles west of Newcastle, PCs Oriel Bruce and Barry Emery are dealing with one such case. They've been handed an arrest warrant for a homeless man who suffers with psychological problems.
We come across a lot of people with mental health issues, and to be fair, they're ill, they have an illness and they need help, really.
The suspect has already been sentenced for carrying a meat cleaver in a public place, but when he failed to cooperate with his probation team, he was given a court date. When he missed that too, they issued a warrant for his arrest.
There's a lot of rumours flying around the town about things that he may or may not have done, and I think that's obviously concerning a few people.
Because of his previous conviction for carrying a meat cleaver, Barry and Oriel had been keeping an eye on the homeless man before the court issued the arrest warrant. He isn't local, and when he arrived in Hexham, he pitched a tent in the middle of a village green. The police attention, combined with the man's erratic behaviour and proximity to family homes, means the situation is getting tense.
I think the problem is he's camped right next to somebody's house as well, which isn't the best. But by all accounts, the neighbours have said he hasn't been too bad. He hasn't been causing a disturbance or anything like that.
I think they're more worried about what he will do rather than what he has done.
Yeah.
As the man is suffering with mental health issues, bringing him in will require all their skills as neighbourhood officers.
He can be quite erratic in his behaviour, so it could go either way, really.
Right.
You in there?
The man lives in one tent and keeps his belongings in another two, including a set of golf clubs.
I can see into the tent. No, it's not here.
I don't think he's here.
Well, all three tents have been checked and he's definitely not there. I can see in the middle one, so. He has been known to leave the area for some hours, so I couldn't even hazard a guess as to where he might be. I have spoken to the occupier of this house and she is understandably not particularly happy that he's here mainly because of the proximity. Yes, everything's still here as normal, but he's not here.
Barry and Oriel are deciding whether to come back later when a man who lives across the green arrives.
I've been talking to PC, Bruce. Oh, hello.
What time does he usually head off, do you know?
I saw him get up about 7 o'clock this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well,
so you're putting him on then, are you?
Can't really say, but if we do catch up with him today, I can't guarantee that he won't be back.
Right.
But to force him off the land, as it were.
Right. I've got nothing against the fellow. It's just don't want him here. All the kids. I've got 2 little boys. I don't let them out in the green because we just don't know who he is, you know.
And the neighbour isn't the only villager with concerns.
But somebody strange turning up, you don't really want it, do you? On an area which is as good as this area, you don't want strange people turning up who nobody knows anything about.
With tensions rising, Barry and Oriel need to get the man into custody. They head to the local high street to see if they can find him there.
I don't know if he's just want to maybe park in the marketplace or something, just in case. It's quite sad, really. You know, this chap's obviously got issues. I can see both points of view, really. That, you know, that's what neighbourhood policing is all about, really. You know, some people, you know, very tolerant of other people, and then some people have got low tolerance. It depends on the circumstances, so you can appreciate it from both sides, really. No, he's not.
He has, you know, that little tufty hair, but he's had on the top. That's exactly what he looks like at the minute.
Is it? No, he's definitely not starting great, is he?
I don't think he goes into any of the shops. None of the shops have contacted us anyway.
The thing is, it's raining now, so he's obviously going to be
undercover somewhere.
Indoors, I would have thought.
Where's the one there? Oh, I can't get through there, can I? I'm just going to have to...
At last, they spot the man.
Yeah, I think we've just seen him just go past there on the right-hand side.
Can you just keep an eye on that side for me?
Yeah, he's just gone into the news agents. Where that courser is, if you just pull in there, or he will be caught on that.
You didn't turn up at court on Thursday, did you?
Court what for?
Yeah, the probation team.
I didn't know that.
You should have been there at court.
How did I know about court?
Well, what
Why didn't you?
Well, we discussed it.
They didn't tell us you that day. I was due at court.
The man's failure to cooperate with probation led to the court date and the eventual arrest warrant. Oriel does her best to keep things calm.
Okay. Look, you trust me, don't you? You know me, and I will sort this out for you.
How are you going to get it sorted out?
Because we're going to go down to the police station. I'm going to have to put these on
Have
you.
a cigarette?
No, you can't have a cigarette.
Outside?
The man is becoming increasingly agitated. When he's refused a cigarette, his mood changes dramatically.
This is absolutely disgusting.
Now, come on, you trust
You've
me.
been down my tent every day.
I haven't seen you since Wednesday, though. I haven't been on since Wednesday. I've been on days off.
Who's issued the warrant? It's nothing to do with
They
us.
just need to clear up.
Just got news of it.
Reluctantly, he agrees to go with them.
Right, come on, let's get this sorted.
Get off me arm.
I've got to get hold. But we just need to make sure they don't get broken, that's all. What about your glasses as well? Rotate your glasses. There you go. I'll put these in your bag. I'll put it in the bag.
Ideally, you want to try and make an arrest in a private place where you haven't got bystanders, but that wasn't the case. Yeah, just to let you know, we're on scene at Forth Banks with a prisoner.
Barry and Oriel are trying to keep the man compliant, knowing any hostility is likely to be due to his illness. But in custody, the man becomes increasingly abusive towards the team and the custody staff. His mental health issues also become evident.
Right, just sit down there, pal. I'll take your cuffs off as long as you're calm. Just sit down on there, though.
Did you lose your job?
It's been a tense morning, but safely in custody, the team can get him the treatment he needs.
He'll be seen by the mental health team that we'll have working in custody with us. Depending on what their assessment is of his mental state, will determine what happens to him. But as the way things stand at the minute, information indicates that he is safe to be detained and will be detained for court on Monday morning.
Back on the village green, the team has decided to pack up the man's belongings.
The gentleman's been arrested, but we've still got a duty towards him and his property, really. So we're conscious now that we need to take care of his personal property. So we're going to seize all the items and take them away and leave them in the custody for him. So when he's released from court, his property's there and we know it's safe. Because the last thing we want is leave this here over the weekend and things get stolen. And that really aggravates the problem.
The neighbours watch as the man's belongings are carefully packed away, and the team is satisfied they've done their best to appease their concerns.
It's a bit of an odd situation. Normally people have a house to live in or a flat, but this is this gentleman's home in effect.
Did you pick the two up, Sue?
Packing up the man's home is treated with the same thought and attention they've given throughout the job, treating a vulnerable person with the care and respect he deserves. The man appeared at Bedlington Magistrates the following Monday. Whilst no further action was taken against the missed court appearance, he was reminded that he must cooperate with his probation team. Due to his illness, he was sectioned under the Mental Health Act and will be detained in hospital indefinitely. Back in Sunderland city centre, Steve Stringer and Jill Calvert are working the evening shift. The officers spent the day moving on beggars and dealing with drunks. Tonight, they are checking their hotspots for any signs of trouble. On their patrol, they run into a group who they deal with regularly.
Excuse me, gentlemen, I need to get down here, thank you. Yeah, please go home and be you, Calvert. Oh.
But undeterred by the presence of a police van, a fight breaks out just in front of them. It's over in seconds. Steve and Jill quickly get in between them and calm things down.
Hello, mate. Mate, where you going now, mate?
Demon.
Right, I'm the police, right?
I know.
Do you not want all the way doing something to talk to you?
Steve takes the biggest lad aside, while Jill has to take a stern approach with another.
Walk away, don't point at me.
By law.
Oh, don't quote law.
You work law, so
don't point at me either. That's your second warning, mate.
I know what I'm saying. I thought you were going to start fighting with him. Other policies might have jumped on you and locked you up.
He ran away.
Right?
Best choice.
Give us 1 second, mate, will you?
Go on, Mickey.
So, just words of advice for you, mate, but you need to calm yourself right down, mate, because you can't be shouting and blowing like that on the street. Walk away. Leave bother, mate. Again.
Oh, we've got to fight.
Leave bother, mate.
Despite their best efforts, it's kicking off again. This time it's a woman who Jill knows well.
Right.
Her friend isn't happy either.
Right.
That's really good, right.
You stand there.
Just, you know, all I can hear is your voice.
Just stand there.
And I'm just putting some distance between you at the moment. Shut up! Shh.
There.
Calm down.
Right,
If you stop shouting at us, yes, I'm going to listen. All right, you know me and you know I'll listen to you. Not yet.
Calm down.
Sit in there for 2 minutes. Sit. Tell us what's going on. All right?
Mate, I was down the back lane.
Making an arrest would take the officers off the street for the rest of the night
Stand there.
and take up precious cell space.
Put yourself in mind.
But this sort of alcohol-fuelled antisocial behaviour is exactly what the police and council are trying to clamp down on.
I'm going to bar you from city centre for 12,
I am only barred from Newcastle.
12 hours, all right? For 12 hours, OK?
Aye.
Which means I want you to go straight home.
I'm going straight home.
Hang on, sit there. You're not going just yet, all right? So how are you going to go home without getting into any bother? How about we drop you off?
The rest of the team arrives. From experience, they know the order to leave may not be enough to prevent further drunken mayhem.
We're going to give her a lift up to You can have a lift up if you want. No bother. And then that's that problem sorted, yeah?
So once again, Jill decides to take them out of the city centre herself.
No. We'll have to put you in the boot. Oh, in. 2 in the boot, 1 in the front. And then you're gone.
Right.
OK, mind your head.
Watch your head.
All right? Be 2 minutes.
Watch your head. Watch your head. Watch your fingers.
Right, 2 minutes.
Just taxi in.
All
That's
right.
how we're doing. Come on, Nick.
Granddad, he's on new level.
Stringer, here's your granddad.
Yes, you do, Stringer. You hate my granddad, but so does them.
God rest his soul.
Are you turning in?
I'm wet now. It's wet out there. This
is exactly the sort of problem-solving 24/7 response cops wouldn't have the time to do. But the neighbourhood team do things differently. In this case, a 5-minute round trip solves a problem that could have kept them and other officers busy for the rest of the shift.
Go on then. Take care of yourself, lads.
But even Steve and Jill aren't hardened to the booze-induced chaos of a late shift.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Back on patrol, it doesn't take long before they spot a man lying in the doorway of a busy music venue.
Up your dead. I'm moving you because you're lying asleep in my town centre. That's why I'm moving you. It's my town centre, all right? I'm policing it tonight. You're lying there looking like a mess and you're bawling and shouting. It's not a bed.
Well, do you know where am I meant to sleep when I'm homeless? Hey, I don't try to get a job like.
Are you going to swear at us again? Go on, once more. I'll give you a bed for the night. Go on, get out. He told me to a couple of times. So he's gone now anyway, that's the main thing. I offered him a bed for the night, but he walked away. He's begging at the end of the day. He'll sit up, he'll beg, he'll get some money, and then he'll spend it on whatever he spends it on. But one of the other issues is he's vulnerable if he's lying there asleep. We've had instances before where people actually will attack somebody. They think it's fun to kick them around and steal from them and things like that. So he's not in the best place for it. But equally, he wasn't in the best frame of mind to be talking to me either. If he'd spent a little bit of time instead of shouting and bawling at me, I might have seen if there was somewhere we could send him for the night. But he walked off. So, like I said, we'll see him later, I am quite sure.
Since the clampdown started, there has been over 27 verbal warnings and 2 fixed penalty notices issued under the Crime and Policing Act. It's a Monday evening in Sunderland. Steve and Jill are nearing the end of their shift, but are heading to a local housing estate for their last job of the day. The estate is well known to the Neighbourhood team. Steve and Jill know this visit will require all their skills in listening and observation. And in the residence area of the estate...
Oh, you've got me seats.
Bingo. Literally.
Doctor's orders number 9.
OK, we're playing £5 a line, £10 a house.
The Astral House Bingo Night has been going for over 16 years and is run by volunteers Rose and Ronald.
3 and 6, 36.
Being here is a chance to speak to people about their concerns, gather new information and make the residents feel safe.
Nice to know that we've got the local plod around the district. I mean, they tell us about what's going on, for instance, in the shops and around the shops and around the city centre with regards to, you know, the pickpockets and what to do to avoid our own purses and bags and for all of that, you know, so that they know how to keep things safe. So they're a big help to us.
If you see them in the street, they never pass you. They always say, hello, everything all right, you know, type of thing, don't they?
Well, as you can see, some of us is not very clever on our legs, and if somebody did try to get our purses, we couldn't run after them. Now, Steve brought that to us. It fastens to your back and it fastens to there, and nobody can pinch your purse.
3 and 9.
There's one activity Steve and Jill take almost as seriously as their policing duties. It's all about the numbers.
Number 10. One little duck, number 2.
And it looks as if it might be Jill's lucky night. She won't be able to claim the cash prize, but no one can deny these cops are a winning team.
1, 14, 15.
Whether it's locking up criminals or offering peace of mind to the public, the Neighbourhood team work tirelessly to make our streets a better place. See you soon.
Policing the streets has changed a lot since the days of Dixon of Dock Green. But some things remain the same, and local police officers listening to people's concerns is still a priority for neighbourhood teams across the country.
Good afternoon, everybody.
And in modern-day Britain, we need them now more than ever. In this series of Neighbourhood Blues, we follow Northumbria Police.
Can you move to the top of the street, please?
One of the largest police forces in the country, serving a diverse population of 1.5 million people.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Whether it's tackling troublemakers,
Don't point at me.
cracking down on antisocial behaviour crippling our communities,
Keep on walking now.
or waging war on illegal drugs.
This is a big one.
They keep our streets safe by fighting the crimes that affect us most, bringing criminals to justice at every opportunity. Today on Neighbourhood Blues, a vicious attack on a bus sparks a hunt for a violent teenager.
Obviously he knows he's wanted now and he's on his toes, so trying to track him down now to find out where he is.
See you later.
Neil and Hayley deal with daytime drinkers in Biker.
You dropped something, mate. Hey, do you want to go home or do you want to go on the stairs?
I want to
Keep on walking now.
And Northumbria Police launch an operation to get wanted people behind bars.
We're proactively looking for wanted people and we'll make it happen. It's not a case of if, it's when we'll catch up with them.
Across the northeast, Northumbria Police fight a constant battle against antisocial behaviour caused by young people. But convincing troublemakers to change their ways isn't always easy.
In Gateshead, the neighbourhood team is having problems with a group on a local estate. One 15-year-old in particular has been causing misery for residents, including verbally abusing and threatening a woman.
There's two photographs here. The first one, the victim took that photograph of somebody wedging their foot in the door. And then there was the other incident on the Thursday, the same lad, he's wearing exactly the same clothes. That's him walking away having just shouted some abuse at the victim. Right, just want to pop down, thanks.
The lad is a minor, so he's accompanied by an adult. Behind closed doors, the youngster is given a stark warning. Curb your antisocial behaviour or face arrest. But Chris isn't convinced the message got through.
He didn't really seem bothered. Didn't really show any remorse or anything. He confirmed it was him who was there, and it was him in the photographs and stuff that we'd got. He said he just thought it was funny. He just did it for a laugh.
2 days later, and the neighbourhood team's fear that the warning had fallen on deaf ears is realised. An anonymous caller has reported an assault, and the young troublemaker has been identified as the suspect. CCTV footage from the bus shows the lad getting on. He's wearing the same jacket and hat as he wore in the pictures taken by the previous victim and when he attended the police station. 20 minutes into the journey, the boy can be seen getting up and speaking to one of the other passengers. Then, seemingly without provocation, he attacks his victim with a series of violent punches. Passengers intervene and get him off the bus. He then calmly walks away. PCs Steve Lithgow and Elliot Sharp will analyse the CCTV more closely later. For now, the priority is to find the 15-year-old and bring him in.
No answer. Message left.
They've tried to reach him on his mobile, but there's no response.
Obviously he knows he's wanted now and he's on his toes, so he's trying to track him down now to find out where he is.
The Neighbourhood team has been looking for him, but he's been lying low. The teenager hasn't always been a troublemaker. Elliot believes this is a case of someone falling in with the wrong crowd.
A good few months ago he was into his boxing, he was knocking around with a different crowd of people, never getting in trouble with the police, so as we say he's starting to go down the slippery slope, and hopefully we can nip it in the bud for him.
The Neighbourhood team is keen to bring him in for his own sake,
this side,
and for that of the local community. They try places where he's known to hang out.
Champion, where's your lad?
Friends,
He's
parents'
not in any
houses.
trouble. I just want somebody who he hangs on with. We just need to speak to them.
And family members. With no luck.
He's supposed to be always in by 10 o'clock, isn't he? At his grandmother's, so it might be 10 o'clock before we can get him. Shut up. Bye-bye.
The suspect hasn't responded to the team's calls and messages all day. But then Steve receives a text.
This isn't his phone. There's been a text back saying this isn't his phone. He's on his way home. He's on his way home, sorry. But that is definitely his number. He's playing me for a fool.
The person at the other end says they've got the wrong number. But Steve is sure he's communicating with the suspect.
Just try to appeal to his better nature, if you like, by saying the whole thing is going to take an hour. We'll pick you up, we'll bring you back. Otherwise, we're going to be knocking on everybody's doors through the night until we speak to you.
But Steve begins to suspect he's being given the runaround.
He was coming back for about 9:30, then he was on his way at 8 o'clock, and now he's saying it'll be another hour. So I'm beginning to think he obviously doesn't want to be locked up tonight.
Unable to get hold of him via text messaging,
being a silly Billy,
the team will try a different tack. The next day, Steve has arranged for a family member to bring the wayward teenager to the station.
Just me again. What's happening?
But a call from the front desk reveals the family member has turned up.
He's what, sorry?
But not the suspects.
They're waiting for what?
He wants to come in at another time.
No, I'm not having that, like. But I want him today. I'm not doing it on his, no, when he wants to come in. He was supposed to come here with an appropriate adult. Apparently the appropriate adult's waiting at the front at Gateshead. Clearly just give him with a runabout, so it doesn't help his matters any if it goes through the courts.
It looks as if the only way they'll get him back to the station is by catching him themselves. There have been sightings of him at the nearby estate, so once again they head there to find him.
I've no doubt they'll have went back to that property where they all congregate all the time.
As Steve and Elliot pull up, a group of youths spot them and head inside.
There's a couple of them getting out the back window before Sharpie got round.
Steve talks to one of the youths who didn't run away and warns him about the consequences of the recent antisocial behaviour.
It's getting out of hand now, and yous are the ones who are getting in trouble for it, and yous are the ones who are going to have closure notice on your house. They're not bothered.
The lad tells them the teenager they're after wasn't with the group who escaped out the back.
Go ahead.
There's good news. The police presence on the estate appears to have flushed out their suspect.
Whereabouts, you?
Another unit has spotted him nearby.
There's been a positive sighting of him running around between these two courts here and over this area.
The Neighbourhood team and local response officers must now work together to close in on him.
Turn the road opposite the Angel, run back towards the light.
The suspect is heading for the open fields near the Angel of the North sculpture.
Down road towards the Angel, on the Angel side.
Oh, just beside the Angel. Just try to leg it over the fence towards the lines and then you see me.
The PCSO on foot directs Stephen Elliott to his last known location.
Try to climb over the fence so it'll be in there. Just let me out here, mate, and I'll just have a float across here. Probably went to ground in there. About 5 minutes ago, you see him running to this area. So it's just a shot in the dark. We'll have a look in here. If you look that bit, mate, I'll go along here. Okay.
Elliott covers the road in case the suspect decides to double back.
He's probably gone up now.
With no sign of the suspect, the team must face the fact he's escaped them once again.
We've done all that area there. We come back up the side. Could have went anywhere now. Like you say, there's so much wooded area, so much open ground, shrubbery.
Steve isn't giving up and wants to check the suspect's mate's house nearby.
Like there, the back of the houses there.
Just as they're approaching, Steve spots a figure.
Yeah, I don't know if it's him, but they've just seen us and bolted through the cemetery.
Who sees the police car and runs in the opposite direction, towards a cemetery.
Well, assuming it was him. Dark clothing, sees us walking down, about turn and sprints through the cemetery. I say we were, what, 100 yards away plus, probably a bit more than that. So he had ample time, plus it's pitch black. There's a million ways he could have went. Just that one step ahead every time.
They know it's only a matter of time before they find him. But bringing in this teenager has been harder than they'd anticipated.
Right, that's perfect, you can see them there.
Later, Steve and Elliott make a discovery whilst watching the CCTV of the assault. But will an early house call help get the youth into custody? Across Britain, there are more than 45,000 wanted suspects listed on the police national computer. Some are wanted for violent crimes, burglaries and domestic abuse. Others have been arrested, released on bail, but haven't turned up for court. In the northeast, Northumbria Police are cracking down and have launched Operation Flynn to get wanted criminals off the streets. Based at police headquarters in Wallsend, east of Newcastle, CID works closely with the Crown Prosecution Service to gather intelligence on those who have evaded justice. And the Neighbourhood teams are crucial to bringing them in.
Right, yo. Is it in here or straight down?
Today, PC Steve West is on the hunt for two wanted suspects.
All right, thanks for your help, mate. Thank you. Ta.
Joined by PC's Amy Kavanagh and Phil Oliver, the team's first target is a man wanted for breaching a protection order for domestic violence. They've got information he's staying with a family member.
Is it all right if I come in and just have a look?
While Amy and Phil head in, Steve waits outside.
We've got a contact number for him, which sometimes it's best left as a last resort. We don't want to give him the heads up.
He's not at this address, but the team has received a tip-off about another.
We'll just keep knocking on doors until we get an answer and take it from there.
But there's no sign of life at this one either. So Amy gives the suspect a call.
Are you around to come into the station? You want to tell us whereabouts you are and I'll come around and pick you up?
It turns out the man is inside.
You're at the front door. Right. Well, do you want to come to the door and we'll have a chat?
Operation Flynn has its first arrest of the day.
Got a cautionary arrest, yeah? All right, for a breach of protection of harassment order.
The message to the public is it's not a case of if, it's when we'll catch up with them. Yeah, we might not have the resources we used to, but you know, days like this where we're proactively looking for wanted people and we'll make it happen.
The man is taken to custody, where he'll be kept until they can get him in front of a magistrate. The team moves straight on to its next target, a man wanted for cannabis possession. Once again, the flat appears to be empty, and the team is forced to call the suspect.
Whereabouts are you at the moment? You're in bed. And where are you in bed? What's that address?
They know by calling him they've alerted the man to the fact they're after him.
Pardon?
And will have to work hard to find out exactly where he is.
Well, because I'd rather speak to you in person about it. I've never met you before, have I? Then I can confirm that obviously I am speaking to the right person.
But he's reluctant to give himself up.
He's not telling us where he is. It doesn't sound like he's here because he's like been doing dishes and all that when I'm on the phone. He wants to know what he's wanted for. I said I'll discuss that in person. And he says I'm not getting locked up, mind. I said well just come and speak to us and we'll see what we can sort out.
The suspect seems to think he can pick and choose when he'll be arrested, but the team has other ideas. They have another address for the man.
5 rooms, I think, 4 or 5 rooms, yeah.
But they don't know if he still lives here.
Are we doing all right? Can I come in a second? Cheers.
Although he's not inside, he has been here recently, so the net is closing in.
We've confirmed he does live here, so it's in his best interest to phone him back. So we'll have to wait and see. Time will tell.
Later, a chance sighting on the high street gives the team a breakthrough.
Make that easy or hard, it's up to you.
They're outside now.
In Gateshead, the neighbourhood team is on the hunt for a 15-year-old whose antisocial behaviour on a local estate is causing misery for its residents. After being caught on CCTV committing an assault on a bus, the team has spent days trying to find him, but has been frustrated at every turn.
Well, assuming it was him. Assuming it was him.
This afternoon, Steve and Elliot have received a copy of the CCTV footage and are going through it to see if the teenager can be charged with assault.
So that's the IP getting on the bus.
The victim, who has a dog, can be seen getting on the bus with his girlfriend.
Right, that's perfect. Hey, you can see them there.
A few minutes later, the suspect gets on too and goes to sit at the back of the bus. 20 minutes into the journey, the suspect then moves seats to sit directly opposite the couple. According to witnesses, the suspect then begins a barrage of verbal abuse towards the couple.
You can still see banter between them.
The suspect then stands up in front of them and without warning, he repeatedly punches the victim in the face and head.
Just do the first punch on him.
Yeah.
Stunned passengers are terrified as the 15-year-old continues his vicious attack.
Yeah, because he's pulled his coat over his head, hasn't he?
Some of the passengers intervene.
He looks like he kicks him off the bus, doesn't he?
The suspect then makes off towards the estate, where he's caused trouble in the past.
That's disgraceful. So
Sergeant Phil Hamlamy has seen enough to convince him the teenager can be charged with assault.
the CCTV shows it's affected the members of the public, and certainly the assaults there for those aggravating factors alone. Yeah, definitely needs to be charged. Right.
And there's more. Information from the victim statement has thrown new light on one aspect of the assault.
Okay, somewhere in this area, the injured party says that the offender actually reaches in his pocket and puts like a gold sovereign ring on. Maybe he's looked down the line of offensive weapon for that because he's used it with the purpose of causing injury.
The possibility that the suspect has intentionally put on a sovereign ring to attack his victim makes an already shocking attack even more vicious.
You can see he's trying to hold him off with his knee, bring his knee up to his chest to pull him away, but he pulls his coat over his head, obviously so it blinds him, doesn't know where he is, and then starts pushing and shoving, and there's another couple of punches get thrown. He also bites the IP. And then maybe he's looking at a public order type offence because of his behaviour on the bus. And on another camera shot you can actually see members of the public waiting to get on the bus who were clearly alarmed and distressed by what they'd seen and wouldn't get on it until he's actually getting off. If he's going to do that, then he's going to be prepared to be arrested and put before the judicial system. So that, married up with the injured party statement, is quite good evidence.
It might be good evidence, but getting him charged means finding him first. And if the last few days have been anything to go by, they have their work cut out. But they need to bring him in before he can cause any more harm.
We're heading down to the South Shields area to bring this saga to a conclusion, hopefully.
They're hoping an early morning wake-up call will catch him before he's up and about for the day.
Just come out the estate now, we're literally 30 seconds from the address. We're going to park away from the address on the off chance that he is out of bed, and you can see the police car pull up, doesn't give him the opportunity to run out the back door. Straight around the back there in case he sees him.
Steve and Elliot will cover the front, while their colleagues cover the back. After days of searching and several near misses, the team is hoping this is the morning it will bring the young troublemaker to justice. And inside, they find him. He's far from happy.
He's all got him. Like 7:30 in the morning for this. Mr. I'm the last kid.
First, Graham was saying he wasn't in, she was being a little bit obstructive. I put that down to the time of the morning. We're getting into the living room and on the sofa. None too happy to be arrested. A little bit of verbals towards us, which we expected, to be quite honest.
While the suspect is driven back to custody, officers search the house for the sovereign ring allegedly worn during the assault. Back in custody, the suspect is refusing to come quietly.
Take what off? No, you go with the van. Go with the van first. Run. Come with the van.
I want your handcuffs off the hip.
But I can't get them behind you, aren't they?
Well, have to wait until we're in custody.
You come out or you get dragged out.
Think about it then. Well, how are you going to take them off?
The lad is demonstrating exactly why the neighbourhood team has been so keen to get him off the streets.
We'll go to the van, we'll do it. Think about it. Are you We're out the van, you bitch!
After verbally abusing the officers and threatening to spit, it takes several cops to get him to the front desk, where he's booked in and placed in a cell.
Nah, get off now, you ugly little. You'll get it.
You'll get it in a minute.
The front so I can see it.
The sovereign ring worn during the assault was found at the suspect's house. The 15-year-old was convicted of common assault. He was ordered to pay £20 compensation to the victim. After abiding by rules set down by a youth offending team, the youngster seems to have learnt his lesson and has stayed out of trouble. In Byker, Newcastle, it's Friday 11 AM, and Neil and Hayley are out on patrol. The forecast is hot and sunny, and the neighbourhood officers know for many of their regulars this means one thing: daytime drinking. It's not long before a call comes in about a drunk at an NHS walk-in centre.
So the staff are just wanting him removed from the Malnew Centre, yeah?
He's pulling everything off.
Just wait outside because he can be quite up and down.
It's a precautionary measure that he is known to sort of be volatile and upset people. And a GP surgery is not the best place for somebody like that to be in that state. We'll go and have a word with him, see what kind of fettle he's in. And if he's argumentative, then we'll deal with it accordingly.
Neil has dealt with the man before and knows speaking to him is all about the art of negotiation.
Just come outside, and have a chat. It's a lovely day, man. Why spoil it?
What's the matter?
Come on, down here, I'll have a quiet word. Come on. Come on.
I was going to get medication.
I know you did. And we'll speak plainly, right?
Right, yeah.
You've had a drink, right? You can't be going in the doctor's surgery when you've had a drink. People
they get medication.
I know they can get you medication. I think come back in a few hours. They're open for a good time yet, right? Come back then, because a few people are there. So just do that.
All right, God bless you.
Listen, favour to me.
Listen, I've done a lot of prison, you
know. I know. Yeah. Right, favour to me. You come back later, it'll be fine. You can get some rest, work in your tan. Yeah. Where you staying now?
Well, I'm in Baker Bridge.
In Baker Bridge? Well, that's all.
What's happening?
What time you gonna go back later?
Listen, I've got no home to go.
I know you haven't. I know. People are just you know what people are like.
Listen. I need my medication.
I know you do. Well, when you come back about, it's only 11 o'clock in the morning, man. Come back about 2. That's open till 6 o'clock.
That's it, all right. Listen.
All the best. See you later. What's your road? It's the same as once you develop a rapport with some people, you can move in and diffuse what otherwise would be a tense situation. You get to see the warning signs, you know when he's going to become aggressive, become trouble. But if you're going low-key, going friendly, familiar, that's always the best way. Just be nice, till it's time not to be nice.
No sooner has Neil dealt with one drunk than a member of the public alerts him to another in the town centre.
Just stop the car on the corner for 5 minutes. He's left the light on the corner.
Where did he go?
To the air left.
All right.
You'll get him after the light.
As long as he's not on the main road, he's not in the traffic, he's not presenting a danger to himself or others.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there'd be any sign of that man.
Hayley has already found the man.
Negative, something else.
And is
stand by,
attempting
just
to persuade him to head home and sleep it off.
Really?
Neil decides to give the man some space.
Yeah.
He's always making his way back. Yeah, he doesn't want to tell you what's going on. That's his right. Yeah. Hey.
His antisocial behaviour
You dropped something, mate. Hey.
calls for a slightly more forceful approach.
Do you want to go home or do you want to go on the
No,
stairs?
I want to go.
Keep on walking now. If you turn around again, you start swinging again, you're going to get arrested, Richard, right? All right?
I didn't want to...
You didn't want to be arrested?
He's not wanting to engage police. He's not wanting to talk to us. He doesn't want our help. He's obviously had a bit to drink. And sometimes you've just got to let them go. You know, there's nothing we can do.
See you later. See you later. See you later. There's a little bit of firm persuasion there, that's all that was needed. And he's a fella of a certain age and he's looking a bit tired. I think he's the same age as me, actually. Oh, I'm raring to go, though.
Alcohol-related offences take up over half of police time in Britain. And today, Neil and Hayley are dealing with more than usual. Back at the station, Neil's skills as a neighbourhood officer are required once again, this time at the front desk.
Front desk now operates between the hours of 9 and 5 for any member of the public to come in and just report a crime or they want to speak to a police officer. On this occasion, this fella's turned up drunk and he's causing a little bit of aggro. So I'll just go and see what he's doing. Remember when I came in a few months ago? Oh man, of course you do.
I can't remember. I can't
Which way you were?
Yeah. I can't remember day by day, man. I don't want to get locked up for the day.
Yeah, oh, not for the day. It's a lovely day.
Yeah, well, I can't be bothered, man.
I tell you what, we'll take you down to Shields Road then, yeah? Make sure you get back in one piece.
Yeah, no, I can't home to bed.
I'll bring the car round. Just stay here, get a bit of fresh air. Just...
Wait with me, are you alright?
Yeah, just wait with Gary and we'll come back for you, right? Is that a plan then?
Yeah.
We've got a deal?
Yeah.
Good, right. Okay, it was 2 minutes, all right? He wanted to be arrested. However, that's not going to happen. People can't just come in and demand to be arrested. On this occasion, he's drunk. He wants a bed for the night. He is a vulnerable adult. And in that respect, we've got a duty of care to make sure he gets back safely to his house. Any other drunken person who comes and demands a lift would not get this kind of care and attention from the police. There you go, do you want to get your belt on, mate?
With the man safely on his way home, Neil knows this probably won't be the last inebriated person he deals with today. But as a neighbourhood officer, he's determined to keep the streets safe and happy any way he can.
Do you know if anyone's in the house at the minute? Because we'd like to speak to you.
For Sunderland PCs Mick and Louise, domestic life is a little more complicated than normal.
You're not allowed anywhere near here.
Late nights and early starts come with being a police officer. And having a good work-life balance can be tough. When the shift is over, not taking the job home can be a challenge. For Mick and Louise, this is especially hard because the two cops who work in the same unit are married and parents to 3-year-old Thomas.
Who's in this one?
Daddy, me, Mum.
Yeah, when you were only tiny baby, weren't you?
Being on the same unit and raising a child is challenging. Juggling shifts and covering childcare means spending time as a family is rare.
Generally one of us is at work when the other one's home. We're not at home together a lot, but because of our family life, obviously we have got our little boy, Thomas, who's 3. So, you know, the shifts are really good in that respect because there's always one of us home for him.
Can you manage?
Luckily, the officers aren't on duty every day of the year.
Bank holidays are looked upon with relish because that's the day that we'll get to go out together as a family.
Mick was in the RAF before joining the police, but decided he wanted a job closer to home.
Wowzers.
Wow, good use of the face. I was getting to that age where I thought I'd do this for the rest of my career or I'll move back home. So I thought, what job can I do that's similar, uniform, disciplined, worthwhile, feel as though you perhaps make a difference. And obviously the police was the obvious choice.
For Louise, the decision to join Sunderland's finest grew from wanting something different.
Joining the police for me came sort of a bit out of the blue. It wasn't something that I'd thought about till I was a little bit older. It sort of struck me that maybe there was more to life than just sitting at a desk 9 to 5 every day.
After meeting at police training school, the pair married 5 years later.
What has to go in a garage?
Now as parents working different shifts on the same unit, they make things work by supporting each other.
I'm a little bit more emotional than Michael, so I tend to you know, carry the feelings home with us a little bit. So especially if it's to do with children or families and things, I think as a family, you understand it a bit more, you feel it a bit more, and there's just some things that you can't forget, and it is naturally going to come home with you.
Hang on.
Mick and Louise's situation might be unique, but like most families, they make the best of what they've got, try to turn each challenge to their advantage.
Thomas, time for your dinner, baby.
I think it just makes us stronger at home, and it makes us thankful for what I've got at home, and I look at Thomas, our child, and I just think, you know, we're lucky, so...
Oh, yeah.
You looking for a plum tree to eat?
No, not that.
It's day 2 of Operation Flynn, and PC Steve West is out with a new team. Today's investigation has led them to Blythe, where Steve is a neighbourhood officer. Yesterday, their inquiries led them to a bedsit, and Steve is hoping an early morning house call with PC Ashley Dunwoody will surprise the suspect.
Cheers.
Steve and Ashley searched the house, and though there are signs he returned...
I think you didn't steal last night then?
The suspect is no longer at the property.
Thank you.
However, the team has learned that the suspect has a new girlfriend, who Steve has dealt with in the past.
He wasn't there last night, just speaking to one of the residents, and he's given us another address which we'll go to now, which he's pretty certain he'll be there, so...
Steve and Ashley head to the girlfriend's house, hoping to find their suspect there. He's been to this house before and knows the street well. But a look through the back window reveals only disappointment.
Are they moved?
A neighbour confirms Steve's suspicions.
Right, thank you very much. The property's vacant, which is news to me, so it must have happened quite recently. They were a problem family. They've obviously just done a flit at some point.
The neighbour doesn't have an exact address, but thinks the woman has moved to a flat on Blythe High Street. Whilst looking around, at last, a stroke of luck. They spot the suspect's girlfriend walking down the high street and disappearing into a doorway. The team follows her. Their intelligence points towards this woman and this flat. Will it be the result they're after, or another dead end? The man's girlfriend answers the door.
It's, do you mind if I have a look? Can you phone him now then? See if we can pick him up now, if you can phone him now.
The woman is being extremely evasive, and Steve is having none of it.
I think he's in here, mind. So why don't you let us in, have a look? Right, well, you need to get him up, because we've got power of arrest. So I can come in, I can make it easy or hard, it's up to you. Yeah.
She finally admits he is inside. And once through the door, Steve finds him in bed.
Well, get yourself ready. You took the mic yesterday. We'll give you ample opportunity.
Yeah, I've got way.
Unlucky. So, do you want to get yourself ready?
The suspect complains that being arrested will mean he'll miss work and could lose his new job. Steve makes a deal with him.
So if you get a move on, we'll get you down as soon as we can, and I'll say to the custody sergeant, and we'll get you across to court as soon as possible because you've got work.
And the kind-hearted cop even grants him a last request.
You don't want to light that up, smoke before we get the van, because once we're getting there, you'll not be able to smoke it, you know. And out else, any keys are out? Bag. Got a stroke of luck there. We saw his girlfriend just walking along the street, so I wasn't sure which property it was along here. So right place, right time. Just give a bit of baloney initially, but you can always tell when someone's in. So just got to play the waiting game. But happy days. I'll see if we can get you straight through.
Despite being given the runaround for the past couple of days, in custody, Steve is as good as his word and promises to get his prisoner processed as quickly as possible.
He's just a young lad, he's starting a new job, so we've tried our best to get him done and dusted with ourselves, so we're now taking him to Magistrates Court, so he'll go up, hopefully, sooner rather than later. Like I say, he's just starting a new job, so swift justice, I suppose, quick turnaround, which benefits us. We can get back on the street, and it certainly benefits him, means he can hopefully keep his job and crack on from there.
Within 2 hours of making the arrest, the suspect appeared in front of the magistrate for failure to surrender and possession of cannabis. He was fined £80 and made to pay £30 to victim services. He was given a warning for the cannabis. The man they arrested the day before for breaching his harassment order appeared in court the same day. He was fined £225 and was also made to pay £30 to a victim fund. PC Kevin Hood, aka Hoodie, is a well-known face in Sunderland.
Yeah.
The veteran officer has been walking this beat for decades and is the very embodiment of the friendly neighbourhood copper. Of the many areas that Hoodie polices, St Joseph's Primary School in the suburb of Millfield is his favourite, and today they're having their summer fete.
Coming along today, we brought the van along and some of our kit so that the children can try them on, like dress up.
Hoodie is joined by his colleague, PCSO Mick Lister.
Try PCs.
Is it heavy? Do you reckon you could run? Think you'd be able to run fast in that? No? No, listen.
It's just to get the youths and the parents to get used to police and see that the good side, really, of policing, especially community policing.
But today's festivities are bittersweet for Hoodie, as this summer fete may be his last as a serving officer. After 17 years on the force, he's retiring. Those who know him best, like head teacher Damien Groke, know this neighbourhood cop is irreplaceable.
I'm used to dealing with community police, but not ones that are as proactive as Kevin is. Kevin's been really a massive support. He lends another element of safety to the processes we have for safeguarding. It really feels like he's part of our community, to be quite honest. I'm going to miss him a lot. You know, the police form such a central role in making us feel safe, actually. Miss him a lot. I'm sure he'll call in for a cup of tea when he's not fishing or talking about cricket.
Neighbourhood officers pride themselves on knowing what's going on in their area. It means they're best placed to put wanted people behind bars and help out the public whenever they can. See you next time.